A warm welcome, dear audience. You are moving with KLR Virtual Academy regard to the communication skills, skill development regard to communication aspects. For the last two sessions, we have discussed regard to the basics of communication and it's relevant in our day-to-day life and professional life. We have discussed about the process of communication and we have discussed about the objectives of communication till to the last session. So I am just repeating regard to the last topic. We have discussed about the communication process. It is a 6-phase activity. If it is coded or encoded, sender, then message, the next one media, the next one receiver, and the next one feedback. This is for a 5-phase activity. If it is extended to encoding and decoding, it will be considered as 6-phase activities. The next one, the objectives. Regards to objectives of communication, we have discussed in this session. I mean previous session. Regard to communication must enable to create an awareness. It must help to impart knowledge. It must help to project an image regard to the thought of the sender, I mean the communicator, and it must affect the sale, and it must convince the people, and it must stimulate a desire or want among the audience, right? We are moving to the next sphere of this series of lecture. Today we will be moving on communication skills. Say, skill means practice or practicable aspects that you need to possess is called as a skill or skills, right? So this is the second impact of your knowledge. Knowledge leads to skill, skill leads to wisdom. Knowledge leads to skill, skill leads to wisdom, right? So application of the knowledge can be simply seen as a skill, right? Say here, communication skills covers two areas. First, it describes what is the category of communication taking place in the society. Second one, for each context of communication category, what are those skills you need to possess, right? So that's why communication skills, don't go further. This is types of communication. Types of communication is different. Types of communication concerned with usage of language or a text or word or your body language, that will be called as verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Here, usage of verbal or non-verbal is also prevailing, but who is using, I mean, how much of people involving in this communication process can be categorized like this, right? So that's why here I'm saying that communication skills describes the quantum of senders and receivers in the communication process. For a usual communication process, it requires minimum 2 parties, as we discussed in the definition. And we saw in the communication process chart also. There must be 2 parties, right? But don't think that only 2 parties are involving in communication process. Many a sender aside and many a receiver aside nowadays we are seeing, right? Somewhere one person is speaking, many more is listening. And another way, group of people are deliberating themselves, right? Like that. So number of senders and number of receivers, how much, I mean, how many number of senders and how many number of receivers are involving in this process will categorize the communication skill base or communication activity into 5 categories. That is intrapersonal communication. Second one, interpersonal communication, not personal, interpersonal communication, group communication, public communication, mass communication. Remember that number of senders and number of receivers involving will decide the category of communication process, right? So intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication, group communication, public communication, and mass communication, right? We will go one by one. First one, intrapersonal communication, somewhat known as self-talking. You remember that while I'm saying this topic to you, I mean delivering this talk to you, I might have been thinking for the next class, for the next moment. While listening also, you people thinking yourself for the next moment or for the incident which sought to be repeated or which the incident which is too new to you, right? So talking to your own self is simply called as intrapersonal communication. So intrapersonal communication is the basic element of communication evolution and communication process. We have some proverbs in Hindi. Jo andar hit, wo bahar hit. If you are able to talk yourself, then you are able to talk with others. That's why how much of time you are allocating yourself to talk with yourself will definitely shape the coming sessions of your communication levels. That's why here I'm saying that levels of communication can be categorized right from intrapersonal communication. Like many of our time being spent with to talk with ourselves. As per a survey of Michigan University, 97% of a human being time is being spent on intrapersonal communication process. That means 97% of our time we are using to talk ourselves. This is very important. This is a nurturing activity. This is a nurturing, I mean training activity for better communication process, for effective communication moment. That's why communicating with yourself is the definition of intrapersonal communication. It expands beyond the basic chat you might have while talking yourself through a task. I mean, by doing an activity or talking yourself, or oh, I want to do this in such manner, but this was happening. If the chance was given, I will prove myself. Oh, I lost the bus. Oh, the person taking too much of boring. That's why. So these are some intrapersonal communication talks you can deliberate yourself. Right. Next one, it is the foundation of your communication ability with all external resources. Just I'm saying that this is the foundation. So how far and how extent you are able to talk to yourself and success to talk to yourself, that will design the success of your ability of communication with external people. I mean others other than you. The next one, the mutterings under your breath or your vision of yourself as a leader fall into the realm of interpersonal communication. Means you are reciting yourself, you are, recapping yourself when you are going to deliver a talk, when you are going to talk a person, when you are going to submit a report, when you are going to explain something to others. Definitely the eventual process will take within a mind and your body. That is called as intrapersonal communication. So while thinking silently yourself is a part of intrapersonal communication. At the foundation of intrapersonal communication skills is self-awareness, talking in the various stimuli from our internal and external surroundings and assessing the situation, right? For example, if you are aware that you have an interview in coming next day, that definitely you are supposed to talk to yourself how much of a stage fear you are having, how much of a knowledge base you are having. You must test yourself. Don't go for that. Intrapersonal communication is a silent communication. No. That is not a matter of silent. You can communicate with silent or you can communicate with voice also. In an alone place, if you want to shout yourself, you can go for an alone place and you can make a shout. That will encumbrances you the capacity of your shouting. Right? So mirror teaching or mirror speaking is the best example for intrapersonal communication. So before you are going to talk with others, you are supposed to talk to yourself, or you are supposed to talk to yourself in front of a mirror. That is the best evaluator of your communication process and communication abilities, right? So this is regard to intrapersonal communication. You can see that this is an important aspect of Sigmund Freud theory. Freudian theory says that we have three spheres of human behavior called as ego, id, and superego. The combination and the continuation evolvement of these three aspects will leads your behavior outside. Right? ego, id, and superego. Ego says that don't do. It says that do it. Superego balances this one, right? For example, when you are moving on a road, you might have seen a person was fallen there. Your id says that take it, that purse, and use that purse for your personal purpose. Ego says that no, 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 don't use, don't take. It want to take, it communicating you, directing you to take it. Ego warning you to don't take. Superego is the intermediary pillar of this one. It says that take it. It says that take it as per it, but don't use, hand over it to the owner of that purse, right? So this is the internal process being taken place. Many movies were shown the same topic. You have seen an Aparichitudu movie by Shankar, split personality. We are saying something, right? So this is the internal process. If ego dominates, you just go away. If it dominates, you will take that purse and use for your own purpose. If superego works, you will take that purse and wallet and hand it out to the actual owner. I think you got this example. That's why you are supposed to balance your ego, id, and superego also. So this is the revolutionary effect of ego, id, superego that leads your outburst or your external behavior. I mean to say that you must talk to yourself. You must listen for a while. The concept of ego, which is saying to you, and the the id that is directing you, and the revelation of superego that is making to you to do such a manner. That's why you must educate yourself. The impact of ego, id, superego. You must educate your your children and your peer groups, your students, for better external and internal, both external and internal communication, right? So this is one kind of positive and negative thinking aspects. You can see that whenever we are supposed to do anything, are supposed to think anything, definitely positive and negative views you can experience yourself. No, 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 don't do. Why don't I do? Right? For example, your teacher assigned an assignment to you to do a task that give a student seminar tomorrow. Negative negative aspect of your thinking may warn you. No, no, you have some stage fear, you have no practical knowledge, and you are somewhere, if you fail to communicate or present your seminar, the other students may laugh on you. Whereas positive thinking, you can do. If you are able to speak with your friend, with your parents, and with your neighbors, why don't you speak on the same, on the given topic in front of your teacher and your student friends, right? So this is the internal backdrop of positive and negative quotients of thinking. Must activate your positive thinking so that positive attitude can be formed and refined, and positive behavior and purposive behavior you can see, right? So you must allow both the positive and negative thinking, but it is your choice to allow, but it is your compulsion to activate only positive thinking, right? The next one, this is one kind of, right? Say many kinds of drawbacks of human behavior. You can see that you might have listened the words introvert and extrovert, inferiority and superiority, some portions of behavioral aspects, right? You want to touch the sun. This is a superlative aspect, but there is no chance. Don't feel yourself, I have no chance, I have no chance to get my target and something. This is the person sitting over the river, the bank of a river, is just holding his fingers, that is seeing that he could have been hold that sun. This is one kind of cognitive therapy. It says your mind that you can do everything, even though you don't go directly to have that to touch the sun, but you can do in this way, one kind of superego aspects. The students, don't shy to talk to yourself, don't feel bad, talk to, allow positive and negative thinking, right? So that's why I'm saying that this is the fundamental stage, and this is the nurturing stage of your communication level. That's why I'm saying that you are supposed to talk to yourself many times, as much as possible. That will ultimately impact the next level of communication. That's why that is called as interpersonal communication skills, right? Say in such case here also interpersonal skills, before to that intrapersonal skill. So in the next coming sessions we will discuss what precautions to be taken while you are talking yourself, what are the skill base you are supposed to use in intrapersonal communication skills in the coming one. Next one, a second stage of communication, I mean second level up. Don't go, that's this is levels of communication. Actually, I mean to say that first level of communication is intrapersonal, and next one is interpersonal communication. Communication with others can simply called as interpersonal communication. Intra means with talking with you, self-talking, and interpersonal means talking with others. You can see that the basic concept. Interpersonal communication is the process of exchange of information, as we ideas, feelings, as we discussed in the definition, between two or more people through verbal and non-verbal methods. Right? These are communication methods using verbal and non-verbal methods. Right? So the concept is important that between two or more people. Often it is called a face-to-face. You are talking with your friend. Of course, don't confine yourself that face-to-face is only interpersonal. Sometimes absence of your friend or other person, you may use some technology like telephone, also called as interpersonal communication. You are texting, you are sending WhatsApp message. This is also interpersonal communication. But sending text or WhatsApp message to a person or persons alone, individually is called as interpersonal, not the WhatsApp group. That will fall in under the next way. Right? That's why it is often includes face-to-face exchange of information in the form of voice, facial expressions, and body language and gestures. These are some skills you are supposed to use while involving this interpersonal communication skills. Right? This is the second stage. First stage you are supposed to talk to yourself, and second stage, many of our time you are supposed to use it to spend on this interpersonal communication. That may be a formal context and informal context. You are supposed to talk to your colleague. That is a formal interpersonal communication. You are supposed to talk to your neighbor, your parent, or your friend. That may be called as informal interpersonal communication. The backdrop is maybe formal or informal, but the aspect is common, face-to-face exchange of. Right? In such case, you are also supposed to maintain such ethic precautions. While you are talking, the other party is supposed to listen. While the other party is talking, communicating, you are supposed to be silent. No question of interference. Right? We will discuss in detail interpersonal communication ethic skills also. The next one, the level of one's interpersonal communication skill is measured through the effectiveness of transferring messages to others. Simply, I can say that when you are involving a interpersonal communication, who is effective? Sender effective or the receiver effective? Simply, you can say or evaluate your effectiveness to the what extent of information being understood by the other. For example, here I am saying the topic regard to levels of communications. Levels of communication. After completion of my task, I may not able to know how much of effective I was conveyed, but I can get the effectiveness evaluation by your feedback, right? So by effectiveness, the communication effectiveness can be simply evaluated by the feedback. That's why communication process includes feedback. I mean to say that if you are effective in communicating, then that communicated message will be resulted to you in the form of positive feedback. If you have some suggestive feedback, you are supposed to make correct. If you have some critic, you are also supposed to correct your communication process. That's why a teacher is being success if every student got the basic idea of the subject topic which was delivered by him on that a particular class or that particular time. That's why we are moving to informal or formal interpersonal communication. Success or failure of your communication depends on the skill base you are using. Techniques, tools, practices you are using will design will decide the success of your communication aspect, right? So this is this, you can see that simply two boys are communicating themselves. This is traditional. You can see that after invention of Graham Bell's telephone, we are able to talk with other in absence to other, right? Prior to that, there is no such mode is that, right? So here, so you can see that the person who is in right side, he is supposed to speak. He's speaking and he is listening. When both are having this, equipment on their mouth, there is no communication. When both are having this equipment on their ears, there is no such communication. What I mean to say that when one is saying, another is supposed to listen. That's why this is the important aspect. The next one, this is also an example of interpersonal communication. A person, particularly a male, is explaining something to his friend. Maybe this is formal context. By seeing their dressing, we can confine ourselves that this is a formal communication. Maybe he's a friend, colleague. Maybe he's a superior and subordinate. Maybe same level employees, right? So he's convincing. He is projecting an idea. He is communicating about a new decision, a new idea, new task, initiated by the organization in that context, right? So this is how he is using. He is using his hands, and his face is very much clear. And here also, she is also seeing very much interest on his face, and by adhering the topic conveyed by that person. Next one, we are moving to the third level, group communication skills or group communication level, right? So group communication is the third level. First, talking to yourself, self-talking. Second one, talking to others. When you are talking to others, maybe with 2 or 3 people, that may be called as interpersonal. When you are talking to group of people or a gathering of people, that is called as group communication. Here also, this group communication may be informal or formal, informal or formal. When you went to a party, you might have received some people who are known to you or some of unknown to you. Generally, there will be a chit chat will take place. This is also group communication. When you are working in an organization, you are supposed to attend the meetings. So that may be a staff meeting, that may be a board of directors meeting, or that may be meeting with the consumers or customers somewhat, right? So this is the third level, right? Say you can see that group communication refers to the interaction between members of small group of individuals. Small group. Kurt Lewin, father of group dynamics, conveyed small group consists with 2 to 12 members. 2 to 12 members. Here, as per our communication process, the group may be called as a small group if the total, maximum number of such group is about 20. Minimum 2, maximum 20. So, group communication is the context where 20 or below 20 people are involving in a conversation, and that is called as group communication. Generally, you can see that board of directors or staff meeting, or you can see that cabinet meeting. Limited people. Don't confine yourself that must be 20. There may be some enhancement also. That 20 may be exceed to 25, 30 also. But the size of group will has positive impact the effectiveness. The more number of people involving, the more distortions you will subject to face. That's why the size of group to be preferable in small quantity. And next one, group communication is a mode of communication in an organization. You can see in formal way between employers and employees in teams and groups. Now it is called as team communication. Group is a formal name. Now it is called as team. Group will follow some rules and regulations regard to formation of groups and accession of groups and cohesiveness of group, impact of group. But whereas teams are volatile in nature, they will form without any obligations and they will proceed on their own way, right? That's why this is also called as team communication. Team leader, team members, you are supposed to group the task, right? So group performance is an important aspect initiated by Elton Mayo by his outcome of Hawthorne experiments. He suggested that instruct group rather individual. What he means to say, he suggests that instruct group rather individual. You are supposed to communicate the new ideas, decisions, or tasks in the form of group for better understanding and better communicating and effectiveness of improvement of efficiency of that workforce and your organization also. So small groups and large groups and formal groups and informal groups you might have discussed in management science, right? This is next one. Group communication can further look at the from an marketing perspectives as communicating a group of people or target customers in order to market product, right? Many times you can see that some people will be gathered at a time, or they are called as customers, and they will be demonstrated a product or service by the tech experts or the marketing personnel, so that their ambition is to create, stimulate an idea or a desire, and to effective that sales transaction of that product and service. Many ways you can see that group communication. Here also you need to possess some important precautions and ethic regard to group communication. In a group, when you are a member or when you are a leader, you are supposed to follow certain rules and regulations and certain precautions, measurements. They are called as group ethic communication of ethic of group communication. We will be discussing in the coming sessions, right? You can see that this is an impact. This is a round table, right? If it is in the form of group, if it is round, that everyone can see the other without any hesitation. Otherwise, if they are sitting in a rectangular way, side a side and side opposite side, certainly you can see the opponent, but not by the side by you. That's why round grouping, sitting up. This is one kind of skill you can see for effective group communication also. You can see everyone that they are involving in that group circle, right? So this is circle communication. Next one, here also you can see some group communication. They are looking to them. This is one kind of formal communication. You can see that, right? When one person is communicating or deliberating or explaining or demonstrating in the group, the others also are need to be silent and wait until their turn comes out. Next one, you can see here also group communication, but the person is explaining something, some new idea, some technical issues using a chart or some communicator tool, right? So the people remaining are following. This is about to group communication, and we are moving to the fourth level, public communication and public communication skills. Public communication happens when large number of gathering are your target audience, and you are supposed to communicate anything, then that is called as public communication. Large number of gathering within an area. Remember that large number of gathering means not throughout the worldwide, within a specific place. You may see that public communication in a political party meeting, in a spiritual gathering, in a road show, in a rally. Here speaker must be visible to the people. Of course, we are using some digital screens for effective communicating and screening also. Usage of loudspeaker, usage of microphones are some important ethic being used in public communication, right? So here, the people, target people must be sit over in a particular place there where the people subject to speak. Limited number of speakers are allowed in this public communication. Whereas in group communication, if you have a group meeting with 20 people are equal choice to raise their concerns and speak over on the given topic or their issue. Whereas in public communication, limited speaker, hardly 2 to 5 people or 10 people are supposed. If the size of or number of people, public speaker increases, the patience of the audience will dilute and they will react and they will show their feedback by breaking chairs and in some ways and throwing up some eggs and some vegetables on the stage. You can see that. That's why limited number of speakers are to be supposed to spoke on that public communication area, right? Say you can see public communication happens when individuals and groups engage in a dialogue in the public sphere. I'm saying that in order to deliver a message to a specific audience, not for the all who are sitting there, not for example, you have a rally, road rally, right? Roadway rally, if you have done, the target people are the those who are traveling on that road and who are surrounded that road. For example, if you have a spiritual rally, I mean spiritual gathering in an indoor auditorium or gathering, the people who are sit on that indoor auditorium are the specific audience. If you have a meeting with in an open ground, people who are gathered on that ground are the specific audience, not the rest of people out of that ground. Like next one, public communication is a method to share a program, ideas, propaganda to public. The main ideas is to give people a new information or knowledge. So technically, providing new information or knowledge is the best practice of public communication. But not only to that one, you can have that when you are sharing a program, when you are sharing an idea, when you are creating an awareness, or when you are promoting your candidature for the election process. Many examples we can see that in case of public communication, right? So specific audience to be gathered in a particular area is the primary ethic for public communication. Here you can see that this is an example of public communication being taken place in a auditorium. You can see that the person who is standing over and the remaining people are listening actively. Right? We will discuss the skills regard to possess while you are speaking. I mean, you are making a public speak. What are those measures or precautions or ethic to be followed in public speak? You will definitely discuss in the coming sessions. You can see that this is a open rally. A person waving his hands to the audience. This is for greeting, and this is for drawing their attention regard to the presentation. I mean, not presentation, about his talk. Right? You can see this one. This is also one kind of gathering. You can see in the public place. Of course, that was covered with some shamianas and some tents, but don't go that far. This is indoorium. This is also an outdoorium, but outdoor gathering, but some measurements were taken place. So these are regard to this one. The next one, we are moved to the last but not least level of communication called as mass communication. You might have understand in intrapersonal, only one person, he himself or she herself is the receiver and sender. Sender and receiver is same person. Whereas in interpersonal communication, we have minimum two people. One is a sender and another is a receiver. Whereas in case of group communication, 20 people subject to receivers as well as senders. And in case of public communication, large gathering will be receivers and one or two speakers are supposed to be the senders, right? Whereas mass communication, right, this is an extension of public communication. Here also specific gathering, but not stick on to them to sit over in front of the speaker. In public communication, the people are supposed to sit over the sit around the that particular area where the speaker is supposed to speak. Whereas in case of mass communication, you can speak at any stage, but the target people may receive that message or idea or some communication message throughout the globe, right? So this is an important phase nowadays we are enjoying. Here I am saying, delivering this talk by sitting in the drawing room of my house, whereas you are also listening somewhere as your choice, right? So this is one kind of also target people is there, but there is no need to sit both the sender and receiver face to face, right? So importing or exchanging information on a large scale to wide range of people is the primary element of mass communication. And mass communication is the process of importing, exchanging information through mass media. Mass media, I'm saying that one kind of mass, media channel, and to large segment of the population. Total may not be covered, but the large segment of population. You can be an audience. One can be an audience of who is living in USA, and some audience may be living in Ethiopia and some in India, right? All can together be participated in these aspects. That's why this one. Next one, mass communication is practiced in multiple mediums such as radio. These are the tools or media. So when you are using a radio talk or delivering a television show and social networking. You can have some social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and billboards, newspapers, magazines, films, and or the internet are the important platforms, major platforms that are providing mass communication. Using internet, anyone can get anything. Now we are moving. I mean, we are using this internet regard to presentation of my talk. That is a best example of your mass communication. Newspapers everywhere, right? This is here mass communication example. Media. You can see that internet, radio, magazine. Mann Ki Baat, our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji using this radio talk, and he is also communicating, addressing total Indians through TV also. Of course, some kind of social medias also he might have used for the better communication. And next one, mass communication. You can see that news channels, newspapers, news areas, discussions all also, right? People sitting over the studios and making deliberations or making clarities. Delivering a talk, all are best example. Teachers nowadays using TSATs, satellite channels, and YouTube videos and YouTube channels, and somewhat some ICT tools like Moodle, Google Classroom, Google Forms. We have some Socrative, many kind of teaching modules available nowadays. By using that kind of mode, you can deliberate a talk with the specification of target people around the globe. Right? So, dear students, this is the category regard to levels of multiple communication. Today we have covered regard to levels of communication called as intrapersonal communication, followed by interpersonal communication, followed by group communication, followed by public communication, and followed by mass communication. And our next task is to what kind of ethic, courtesy, precautions, measures to be followed in all these levels of either it may be a mass communication context, or it may be a group communication, right? So we can example that speaking with your friends through mobile, or writing mails, sending mails. One best example for your interpersonal communication. Attending group discussions, debates, deliberations, interviews are best example for group communication. Okay, so speaking on rallies, public addressing, best example for public communication. And usage of social media and technology, and so-called this newspaper and multimedia. If you are using in communication process, certainly that is called as your mass communication. I hope you understand this topic delivered by myself today. In the fourth session, we will be moving for the next topic as per our requirement. Stay home and stay safe. Have a nice time. Good to see you. Thank you, one and all.